Okay guys, in this video I'm gonna be as straightforward as I can be to prove my point, the why I like uh certain games better than others. And this is gonna be a comparison of Asian games against European games, as in comparing their styles and why I like one more than other. So I think we should begin with one of the more easy to explain flaws.
Very well. Then sail safe and strong, and may the sapphire star light your way.
So the very first thing I'm gonna talk about, one of the greatest sins that Asian games usually have, is explaining. Explaining everything. The fact that they always seem to have the need to explain everything before it happens, explain why it's happening or why it's gonna happen. They always want to explain every single detail, and that's a big flaw that even in animes you have 2 and 3 episodes before a big battle or something where they're always constantly explaining and explaining and explaining, and that is the first sin that they seem like to think that everybody is not smart enough to know what the hell is going on. They always, they always, they always seem to be. They have the need to over-explain stuff.
A-list hunters?
Oh, now they're gonna tell me what I am and how I feel and who they are. Everything is so always, and that's so annoying. That's the first thing. It's so annoying. It's so damn annoying, the fact that they always have to over explain stuff. The art of creating visual storytelling is very important. Is very important. Just by creating a detailed enough world, you could potentially avoid having to explain thousands of hours in every moment, and that's just tiresome. So that's the main flaw. That's what I would say is the main flaw comparing European games to Asian games. The fact that Asian games is as simple as they talk too much. They just talk too much, man. Let the action begin. Stop talking and let the action begin. Okay, here we go. Let's keep it nice and simple. The very first thing is look how generic every character is, and look at their stupid AI. That's the first thing that pops out. Look at how they're acting. And of course I have a giant unrealistic weapon, but let's get straight to the point. The environment. The environment on itself. Look at the environment. Look at how lackluster and PS1 old era looking the graphics are. And this is not an old game. These are relatively, they're on PlayStation 4 for God's sake. This is supposed to be a battle. How, there's so much, so much, what I gotta do. Why is this here? I'm not even paying attention. Look at that. And as you can see, I broke the barrel. And I had some kind of power up. And that's the problem. That's the main problem with Asian games. Their backgrounds are bland and unappealing. Bland and unappealing backgrounds that seem like cardboard. Flat, undetailed. Yet the characters always seem to be extremely detailed compared to the world they're inhabiting. And the main sin, the main flaw is that it feels like an arcade game, and it will never stop feeling like an arcade game. It is a game, and it feels like a game. Not like other games that are so detailed and immersive, you really get into it, and you get lost in the world. I will forever feel like I'm playing an arcade game. I will forever look at the wind and all this ridiculousness that comes out every time I swing my sword. How is that realistic in any way? And this is a series that is based on historic events and supposedly realistic battle styles, but it's not. It's so fictional. You know? Look at this guy, popped out of nowhere. Look, is this smart AI? Look at this. Am I supposed to walk over here and kill all these people by myself? All my soldiers are just standing around. I come over here and kill all. I win. That's it. I don't even hit my own soldiers. I just swing this giant unrealistic weapon around and devastate. Does this feel like a immersive, realistic battle, ancient medieval warfare in any way? Does anybody here feel immersed? You know, look at the ground. It looks like I'm walking. They will always look separate from the world. Look at how this wood, it's so undetailed. Not even the textures of the wood. Look at the texture of the wood, a blurry mess. I could do this in a make your own game simulator. I could probably do better than this. And those things that are falling from above, those are supposed to be arrows. How are those arrows? Why they couldn't just do arrows? That's the thing. Those are the details and the things that bother me from Asian games. They're always so arcade, hollow feeling. Like you can't really get immersed. You can't really get immersed in a world like this at all. Okay, now for the sake of comparing apples to apples, I chose For Honor, which is a game by Ubisoft. Ubisoft's main headquarters is in France. Their development teams are all in Europe. And so basically all the other companies that made like the Wushu games and Berserk, they're based in Japan. Though at Monster Hunter World, their base is in Japan as well. So it's a medieval style warfare game. So basically trying to compare the same type of game. So that's why I chose this one, to be fair. So let's take a look. So I chose a little training area just to show off the amount of detail in the world. Look at the amount of detail. The background, nothing has to be said to see how the background is creating the scene. The background alone is creating the scene. My character not only looks like he belongs here in the era, and he's fighting an accurate enemy. You know, look at this. I put the bot to be really low level, easy, that way I could show off the level. But look, this is obviously a Scandinavian, Nordic, Viking arena. In the snow, it's epic. Look at the sky, look at the snow, the birds. Even back there, who's gonna look back there? The textures look amazing. Look, even over there looks amazing. Not like a lot of Asian games that textures that are far away just turn into blur, just squares with a blur on them, really low res. No, everything here is nice, amazing visuals. Look at all this. The details in the wood is not just a square piece with a texture of wood on it. They went through every little detail to make it look like wood and aged wood and battle hardened and like this has been lived in. This little arena has been lived in. It looks like it's a real place. Look at the bodies, the details on the floor. Every detail, every single detail creates the scene. And obviously, look at my character. Even though I'm an Asian samurai, I don't look ridiculous. I'm not acting a fool. I look like a badass. I look amazing. Amazing. Now I will show you a battle scene. A battle scene. This is just to show off how detailed. Look at the Jarl up there. Just showing the details of the map for this example. Okay, so I just wanted to say this because I couldn't hold back. In the character creation, the first outfit seems to be pretty ridiculous, but why? Why does a man need to be showing his belly button? No man should be showing his belly button. Like, that's just wrong. Or his back part, right there, or the front part. No man should be showing their belly button. Should have such a short shirt that should be showing their belly button at all. It's just very, I cannot relate. I cannot relate to wearing a, showing off your belly button. It might pass maybe for this guy, but what about this? Does this pass? Is this belly button showable? You know, does this pass? this, I just wanted to say, you know, the character creation is always to take it to a next level, and I'm not. Let me see, and I'm not even seeing the faces. The faces always tend to be over the top too, you know. So right here I'm in the character menu, and already you could clearly see that character design and how amazing and war torn they are. It's already amazing. And not only that, the characters already give me a sense of, oh man, I look like a badass. You know, I don't feel ridiculous. I don't feel like I wouldn't use that for that time and era. It feels very realistic, especially the fact that they not only did European style armors, as in these are the knights, but they also did Vikings, which is Scandinavians, the Nords, that look very much Viking and look nothing like the knights. They have their own style, and they fit the style according to the era. That's what I expect. And also, even the females look like badasses. They don't look weak and are wearing skimpy outfits with big boobies popping out, or nothing as usual like you'll see in Asian games. But not only that, they have the Japanese faction right here. And they make them look badass. They make them look badass. And I do not feel like I'm ridiculous carrying a sushi bowl in my back or a tempura on my head, you know, as a hat or anything. It looks, everybody here looks very badass, very awesome, very war torn towards the area. So already the character design has a big, and he's carrying a big weapon, and but he is a big man, and those weapons are actually historically realistic. These weapons used to exist, so everything makes sense in a realistic in a realistic way. Everything makes sense to what they're wearing and how they look. And they also did the Chinese faction, which you could tell the obvious difference between a Chinese sword and armor accurately, what I'm expecting to see. So many points on character design alone, and realism, and extra points for making me look like a badass and not a fool, you know? So that alone, starting out, amazing. It's just a different point of view, how Europeans see the world and how Asians see the world. Two different worlds, to be honest. Two completely different worlds. Okay. Here we go. Here we got an example of immersive battlefields. Now, as you can see, this is an example of does the world around us give the impact of the story, the situation we're in. Is it flat, this flat, almost textureless floor, and all these same looking AI around me? Does this ambience right here, in other words, does this, let me get off this horse because I just look ridiculous. Does this scream epicness? Is this an epic battlefield? Look at the graphics, textures of this rocks. Look at when they break, when they fall to the floor. Is this epic? Am I supposed to be thinking I'm in an incredible battlefield? This is the battle of the ages right here. That's how I'm supposed to feel. You know, look at the detail in the world. Does this scream realistic warfare? Those, what was that, a cannonball? Those cannonballs, look at them. Thank God they put at least blood. But is this supposed to be a epic battle? Epic wouldn't be the word. I would say it feels like a game. The bodies and anything that falls to the floor is here. So I will show you a game that basically is that will look 10 times better than this and really screams epic battle.
Yes.
Oh, nothing says realistic like a glowing chest in the middle of the battlefield and openly realistic numbers on top of your head that say yes. How more real could it get? Especially with how the blood looks. That's blood. I mean, I think I proved my point. Look how old school, generic, even the animations and everything looks. Look, I could run through these guys. Epic battlefield like I've never seen in any video game in my life. Look at this. Okay, let's leave it there. Enough with the sarcasm and the amazing graphics. Yes, enough. Okay, okay. There. No words had to be spoken to set the scene. As you can see, this is the full-on battle. And look at the detail in the world already. Look at this amazing scenery that sets the scene. Look at the blood in the snow. That's not even blood, that's cherry blossoms. Here we go.
You captured Zone C.
As you can tell, the combat is way more realistic. You feel the clatter of the armor as the character runs. While the fighting, look at the blood. While the fighting is going on, you see the NPC characters actually look like they're part of the scene. We actually have to push the enemy back. Like, this is what warfare would actually feel like. This is exactly the type of scenario that you're facing off. It looks, you're selling me the scene just with the scene alone.
You captured Zone A.
Now we spectate our teammates. You see the area.
You captured Zone C.
So it's all about how real war would be, which is basically conquering territory. And this is a fighting game. The detail in the background, it's not really necessary, yet it's there and so much appreciated.
Lost Zone C.
Now I'm gonna tell you one thing about the scenario. Is it epic? I say yes. I say this is what makes epic battles. He ran away.
You captured Zone C.
This is what makes epic scenery, epic battle. It actually gives the feel of medieval warfare. Even as the battle goes on, far away, distant areas in the background look extremely detailed. The battles look extremely realistic, believable. The weapons are like they should. Normal sized weapons, not over the top. Everything is like it should be. I could really say this is a scene, a world that looks lived in. It looks like this is a real place. Every single detail, even the wood right in front, it's so believable. It's not just textures without thought. It's not bland. It's not. They did the work, and it shows, and it's much appreciated. You could only have epic scenes like this in this type of game. This is it. So as you can tell, already, already, I think with little words, just the scenes, the action, the moments in this little bit of gameplay has already proven my point. This little bit, has already proven the point I wanted to say between the difference. This is our teammate that we're spectating right here. He got defeated. The details. My point has been proven. European style games could take the same genre and put it in a completely different light. And I just have to say, I favor this. Gangbanged. Looks like they're getting salty at this point because they're losing. And they're really trying to put up a fight at the end, which is, you know, just like war. Okay, look at this. You can zoom in and see the details of the battle while you're spectating from above. Like, my team is breaking. Oh no! They're only 200-point difference now. Payback. Slaughter. Slaughter. Look, they run away, and it's so realistic for NPCs. The battle, by the end of each battle, you really feel exhausted, as if you were really in battle. It really wears you down. I'm telling you, I could not sell this. I could not sell this more than I already have. It's just, it speaks for itself. It speaks for itself, and that's the difference. That's the thing I say. That's what I'm comparing here. So I chose this game to compare apples to apples. Just to compare the same style. Oh my god.
Victory.
Over. Now I can agree that this is a very much beautiful created world, but it's Capcom. Capcom, out of all Asian games, Capcom has really defined itself to be different. They do details. They do amazing graphics. They really go all out. I gotta give it to that one company that really does hold its own, you know, with the Resident Evil games and I mean I can't even think of any other example besides Resident Evil and this game. Because Street Fighter is extremely over the top cartoony and not like this. But still, it's an amazing world, very beautiful, that I could say, you know what, it's amazing enough for me to, you know, I could forgive the giant weapons. I could forgive that my character is not gonna, you know, look exactly how I want him to look because it's Asian influence. Okay, I could look past all that. You know, let's just play the game. Let's just enjoy the experience. Order. Let's place an order. Here we go. Here we go. Now this right here, this big flaw. Order. Let's place an order. Here we go. Here we go. Now this right here, this big flaw, this overreacting ridiculousness that I cannot relate to. And I just can't. I cannot relate to it. As much as I try, look, I can't even, you know, as much as I try, this over the top gesture, like the Power Rangers old school style, where they need to gesture so much and do everything so over the top, and my character, Asian characters always have to eat in such a ridiculous way, and over the top movement, acting, and all this that I could never, as a Westerner, I could never relate.
Hey there,
I,
partner.
hey there, partner. I could never relate to their over-the-top ridiculousness. Either it's in the Yakuza games where it's over-the-top ridiculousness, where I'm trying to enjoy a nice, realistic game with Mafia, Yakuza, but then for some reason we're brawling instead of actually shooting ourselves like a Mafia game would be. If the Yakuza game is gonna be a brawler, and I can't deal with it. I can't deal with the fact that they always have to throw so much ridiculousness. There's so many side
You can
stories.
pick up quests from the quest
Oh
board, too.
my god, more tutorials.
It lists
I'm sorry, but I can't. I can't. It's just something that that I cannot overlook. I hate being ridiculous. I hate acting like a fool. I really don't like that. And the fact that if I play these games, I'm always a fool and I'm always running like a buffoon and all these things, and put a sushi roll in my as a back bling, and wear a tofu hat, and these ridiculous things that I could never ever surpass. And that's what blocks me from playing what I consider this to be one of the most amazing games of its type, is those details that push me back, that I just can't do it. I'm gonna drop it. I just can't. I can't get over the ridiculousness. It just breaks me, man.